Guys, it's been a while since I've posted a video, and I know a few of you have been asking for a few more. This one just came up, so I haven't done one for Juniper front 9 yet, so we're gonna give it a shot here. Yeah, competition has been really tough now that everyone's getting their clubs all ramped up to the pyros and stuff, so we're gonna give it our best shot here. This first hole is pretty straightforward. A lot of times I will look at the wind. Sometimes I'll look at the pin position to see if there's some room in the front to roll it in there. This seems like a pretty good pin placement. It's way in the back, so I'm just gonna lay it up there and try to get it as far as I can up here. Maybe take out a little bit of that wind, and maybe recording this will help me play a little better because I've been playing terribly today. So we're just gonna get it out there. So the next shot here plays short. It's a little uphill. Check out our clubs here. So it probably will land a bit short. One thing I like to use on this hole sometimes is the wind cutter. Zach actually mentioned that he uses these a lot for shots similar to this. Kind of takes the wind out and just gives you a shot to kind of go right at the hole, and it works occasionally. Wish it would work more often sometimes, but I'm gonna hit this pretty hard, even though it's looking like it'll fly past the hole, but I'm not gonna put full power on this one because it will play a little short. Just off to the left. But you get the idea where the wind cutter can come in handy on that shot. So this next one, if you don't have the pyros, you might have to go around, and this is a good pin plate or a good tee box for going around because you can get around the mountain there. But in my case, I'm just going to see where my clubs lie here, and I'm probably just going to go up and over. Pretty much anywhere you can go over. If you're in that tee box over there and you're way over to the left, you can hit the top of that mountain even with like a 5-wood, so you got to be careful. But in this case it looks pretty safe. I'm gonna go 6-wood. A little bit of wind behind you, but the 6-wood still can come up a little short. But with that wind, I think I'm going to go about there. And I'm just going to roll it in there and see what happens. Try to get it a little to the left because there is the wind pushing you left. Alright. 6-wood's pretty bouncy, so you do run into that problem when you're using that club. So this hole, again, fairly straightforward, but there is an elevation. It's way down there. So the ball will push a little further than you expect. There's wind straight in my back. Thinking I might club down quite a bit here and high tee it. Wondering if I should go high tee or medium tee. Let's go high tee and backspin and see what happens. Still haven't given in to getting the line on my screen, but I am thinking about it. In this case, the hole itself is acting like a nice line. Oh, maybe the backspin was a little too much. Right path, just not hard enough. So this one I play the same pretty much every time. Did have one guy show me if you're in the right spot here with a driver, you can go way over that ridge and get it down into that lower section in the rough, and you can make it fairly easily to the green. I don't really do that. I also know that some guys do go to this bottom section, but I always go up to this top section. I just find like it's a consistent shot, and I generally don't have too many problems with this hole. So I always high tee it, whether I use a 3-wood or a driver, and I always use 3-wood or driver. It just always seems to work out okay. So I'm going to go into the back of the box here. I'm going to high tee it. Even with the driver, I'm going to high tee it. And I'm going to let the wind push it just a little bit. And I'm definitely going to take some off of it in this case. 3-wood is a little too far down. So I'm just going to take a little off the driver with backspin. Always put backspin on this shot. It will stay up there if you hit high enough on that mound. We're going to go a little light because we're using driver here. Even that might even be a little short, but that's perfect. I mean, that's basically what I try to do every time on this hole. Just backspin it, let it roll down that hill a little bit. It always stops with backspin if you hit it high enough. And then the next shot, you just go right over this hill. 3-wood can be scary. Even with the wind in your back, you still might not make it. So I'm actually going to go driver here. And just, if I put backspin on it, it's still going to go forward. If I put super backspin on it, it's going to roll back off that hill. I'm actually going to use a sticky ball here and just try to stick it down next to the hole. And I think I'm going to take just a touch off of it because it will go a little further. It's got wind in your back, and it already wants to set up a little closer. So kind of playing this one safe, I think. There you go. So this one, you have some options here depending on what you're looking at. We're real far back in the tee box here, so you can get over that mountain with a 3-wood and a power ball, a Maniacs. It's not there today. Even with a high tee, you're not even close. So we're gonna go up to a driver here. Driver, you can get over if you how I used to play this hole, and I know if you guys still do. You can kind of aim for that hill over there and bounce it off, and it will stay on the green generally. Power ball into there, and it'll bounce off and kind of roll down onto the green. But you also can get over that little dip. Oops, that little dip in the mountain there, right there. You can make it over that with a driver. So that's what we're going to try to do here. We're going to power ball. Since the hole's over there on the right, I'm going to move the tee over to the left to kind of get a little better better angle in there. And we're going to high tee. Do have wind in your face, so it's a little scary, but that might slow it down from getting to the other side of the green. So that's could be a good thing. We'll see. We're just going to go for it here. Ooh, the wind was just a little too much. Maybe I could have gotten there if I had gone a little further over to the right, but I didn't. So let's see what happens here. Little wind in your face. Let's just put some roll on it for fun. And just missed. Oh well. But just trust me, you can get there. if the wind's right and you hit it right. So there's a couple different tee boxes on this hole. This is the closer one where you're always using a very high loft club, so it can get a little sketchy. But it's kind of set up nicely, so I'm just gonna backspin 9 wood, or 9 iron, sorry. Wish I had a 9 wood sometimes, miss that club. The 9 wood is in the cabinet game. There's all kinds of clubs that are in that aren't in here yet. Maybe someday we'll see 9 woods and 8 woods and 7 woods and all that stuff, but for now we don't have it. This one's another one. You can either go over the mountain here. It looks like it's set up that I can get there like that. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. The other thing that I do on this hole, though, if you can't get over there, I usually go down to a 5 wood or a 4 wood, and I'll hit it just about right where that 259 marker is pointing to. I hit it with nothing on it, regular ball, and it'll bounce and roll right down that hill, and it usually stops as long as you're not too far over to the left with your first shot, and then you have a nice shot to the hole. But we're kind of set up here to get over this way, so we're gonna go 5 wood. Just gonna move my tee down just a touch. High tee. Let's take one more look to see if we're lined up right, and we're gonna hit a power ball and try to get right through the uprights over there. Oof, little short, little plinko, and we're there. So we're in the rough here, so this will probably hit a little lighter than you want it to, but the wind's in your back, so I'm just gonna go for it here. Backspin. And it puts you right there next to the hole. Whoa. Oy. So this position is the worst. I don't like it. It's a very hard shot to get it into that little nook. Anywhere else, it's a much easier shot, but when it's tucked down there in the bottom of that green, it's really hard to get to. And the wind's pushing you left, so pretty much everything on this hole is saying it doesn't want you to get there. So I may not, but we're going to give it a shot anyway. We're going to use a power ball, especially because that wind is really pushing us back. And I'm going to do a pretty crazy curve here, hoping that it'll stay low on the green, low enough to get a putt. And again, this could even be a tough one. I might not even be able to make it. We'll see. Looks like it's makeable. Got it. That's a tough one, though, because a lot of times you'll land too far away from the hole and it won't even let you make it. So, happy with that one. I usually use a power ball on that last hole just to get it there, unless the wind is pushing you into the, pushing to the right, then sometimes you can just use backspin and get away with it. So this one is another kind of straightforward one. When you're up on that other tee box that's up at the top there, I usually try to land somewhere down in this region so that you can get there with a 6 wood. I find if you get too far, if you get into this like middle zone, you're kind of between clubs and you got like a 2 iron or a 3 iron to get there, and that's a sketchy shot because you're hitting uphill a little bit. So if I'm on the other tee box, I usually try to land a little short, actually, and use a 6-wood or a 5-wood. In this case, it's given this, at this tee box, you know, it's giving you the option to go right over these hills. I'm just going to high tee it. Got the wind in your back, so well, maybe we'll get crazy here and try to get it way up there. I'm going to power it up over that hill and hope that it stops short. Hope it gets there first and then hope that it stops a little short. So we're good. So now we got a little bit better wind and a nice lofty club to get us up there, which is nice. It is a little uphill, so this could get a little weird if it doesn't make it, but I think it will with that 6 pushing a pitching wedge because it's such high loft. It should get there no problem. Had a little problem, but he's the other club and taking a little off. But either way, you're putting, so that's all that really matters in that case. And there you go. Not my best round in the world, but it gives you some ideas of how I play that course. Good luck, guys.